Welcome to Gloria's Gab Live. I am delighted today. I have a wonderful lady who I just met recently over the phone. And actually, Neil Handler kind of recommended that I talk to you. And I'm so glad I did, Bonnie. Thank you so much for coming. Bonnie is an author, and she's written a book that I think will inspire and answer a lot of questions for a lot of people. Before we get started, because we have a lot to talk about, I want to thank our sponsor, South Florida PBS. If you're not a member, you need to be. Are you a member?
No, but I will be.
Well, okay. Yeah. Actually, if you're a member, you get one of these every month.
Okay.
And it tells you everything that's going on. And they have magnificent programming. In fact, next week, my guest is going to be Janessia Squee from South Florida PBS, and we'll learn about all the great programs and everything that they're doing this coming summer. So let's talk about your new book. I wanted to read this. I want you to know I wanted to read this book over the weekend, and I didn't get a chance to. And I'm so glad. I'm so sorry I didn't, because now I can't wait to read it after talking to you for a while. But tell us what inspired you to do this book, Bonnie.
First of all, I want to say thank you so much for having me on. And I appreciate that Neil hooked us up, because it's been a pleasure getting to know you
Same
so
here.
far this morning.
Thank you.
What inspired me, I always wanted to write. I always loved writing. And I just, one day, a friend had written a book, another friend wrote a book. I'm like, I like to write. I'm going to write a book. Just like that. It just happened.
Like that.
And it started as like little snippets, little stories of my life.
Yeah.
And then another story and another. And then unless I connected the dots, the reader never would have made sense of it. So it ended up turning into a memoir, but it's really not about me. It's about, I think anybody could relate, because it's about hope. It's about overcoming trauma. And
you have been through a lot. And this is definitely would make a great movie, right?
Thank
we
you.
talked about that.
Yes, we did.
Yeah,
we did.
So tell me, you've got chapters on everything from all kinds of addiction. You've been through it all, and you were brutally honest in the book, from what I gather. So how did you do that as you're writing? Trying not to identify places, people, because I know you've been in recovery for 11 years.
Yes.
And when you're in AA, you can't talk about people. You have to be really careful, right?
Yeah.
So
and
how are you dealing with that?
It wasn't so much about people in different programs, but people in my personal life that I wanted to protect. Because, so writing it was easy, because it just kind of poured out of me. I sat at my desk, and I look at the sky and the water, and I asked my angels, can you just help me to write, so I can write something that's going to help other people? And the words, at first I was thinking, am I going to handwrite it or am I going to type it? And I couldn't handwrite. I could barely keep up my thoughts, get them down on, with the typewriter, with the keyboard, because it just gushed. Everything just poured out of me. It was so easy to write. And then was the editing, so I had a great editor, and she's like, this needs a little, this might be a little slow. So I had to change my whole style of writing, rather than.
So it was actually a learning experience as well.
It was such a learning experience. It was cathartic to write it. It was painful at times. It was fun. It was funny. It was very healing. It was one of the most healing things I've ever done. And so still educational.
And we were talking about how, being in AA, you have to speak in front of a crowd, and that probably helped you be able to be brutally honest, because you share things anonymously with other people, and now you're sharing it with everybody.
Yeah. It's still hitting me, because when someone interviewed me, they read something on page such and such, and I'm like, oh my God, to hear someone else say it.
Let's still go there.
But for me, I've talked about it in therapy and with people, and as much as you talk about it, you're a writer. When you write, it's different. Yeah. It's really different, and it just is.
It just
it just is. Yeah.
So what do you, so I know you and we kind of met through Neil, And
Yes.
they've got this big event, the Phoenix Life Project, that's
Yes.
coming up this weekend on Saturday. And I'm so upset that I can't go, but I have another Women's Club event to do. But uh, I I know I know you're supporting that,
Yes, I've been
and
trying to help get auction items and people to get, tickets. And it's such a beautiful event. It's such a beautiful organization to help the rescue workers and trauma victims for the Surfside collapse. It's going to be a year.
yeah.
Saturday's the year anniversary.
And
So
interesting, you have a background in you majored in psychology, was it?
I did,
Yeah,
but pretty much
never
the whole
used
time.
it
I mean, I
per
was
se.
basically getting through college by the skin of my teeth.
Oh, really?
I wasn't studying at all. I was studying, drugs, alcohol, and eating disorders throughout my college years. It was really, I was a mess. I don't know how I graduated, but I
So,
did.
okay, so this book covers eating disorders, alcoholism, drugs,
How long is the show?
sex. What?
How long is the show?
We're
Yeah.
talking. We're
Well,
talking.
we talk about sex and love. I talk about, eating disorders. I talk about a lot of mental health stuff, bipolar, borderline personality disorder, overcoming trauma, sexual trauma. We've been through in our lives, because everyone's been through stuff. I'm not
Yeah.
unique.
Yeah.
Everyone's been through stuff, and how we get through the other side, no matter what. I didn't give up hope. Suicide as well. Like, I wanted to die many times because I didn't think that I was ever going to be okay. And you just write it out, and no matter what, we're always okay. There's always a solution. And that's
Yeah.
what I want the readers to know, that there's always a solution, and that we
So
can get
your
through
book is
anything.
really a book of hope.
I hope so. Yeah. I
Yeah.
hope so.
A book of hope, and you hope it is.
Yes. Yes.
So what do you think? You've done one book signing,
Mhm.
but we're hoping to do more. So if any bookstores out there, Mitchell.
Yeah, I would love. Thank you for the plug. I would love to go to bookstores, and because people that like to read, people that don't like to read. I had, friends of mine, I'm going to get your book. I want to support you, but it might take me a few months to read. And then they're like, I'm on, Written in the Stars. I'm like, you're halfway through the book already.
Yeah, right.
They're like, I can't put it down. So that's such a
Yeah.
compliment to me.
No, absolutely.
It makes me feel so good that people want to read what I wrote,
Well, the funny thing is, like we were talking about how it reads like a novel.
Like a trashy novel.
Yeah. That'll get everybody to buy it. It reads like a trashy novel.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to read it.
As much as the subject matter can be intense, it's lighthearted. I think it's, I think
But
it's
that's your
lighthearted.
positive spin.
I hope so.
Putting
Yeah.
it
Because it was
positive.
dark, but then at the end, I kind of put my view now. What was the hardest thing? One of the hardest things is realizing, like, wow, this is who I was, for so many years. This is the person that I was. And seeing that again and reliving what I did to people, how I hurt people. That hurt me now.
Oh, yeah.
I damaged a lot of people because I was damaged.
Yeah.
Or trauma that I went through, reliving that trauma. But in the end, there's a lot of positive messages in the book. So it's an upbeat book. It's not a depressing book. It's not,
Yeah. So it leaves you with hope.
Yes.
And that's
yes.
whole intent, right?
Yeah. And it makes people feel good, like that's the whole thing, it's a little bit entertaining as well,
Yeah. But for people going through these different types of addictions,
they're not alone.
Well, that gives people hope.
Yeah.
That they're not the only one dealing with whatever the issue is.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think that's the only way you can help people, by being really brutally honest.
Mhm.
I know.
Well, and I know that you kind of counsel people and you sponsor people, and
I take people through, the steps of, the program, and,
Yeah.
12-step programs and
but
stuff
like you
like
said, that kind of helps you too.
that keeps me sober. That keeps
Yeah.
me sober,
Yeah.
because, no one can understand, like, let's just say giving birth. I don't know the pain of giving birth because I've never given birth.
Right.
I know the pain of suffering through intense, trauma, eating disorders, mental health issues,
Yeah.
addiction. I know that pain, so I can relate.
Right.
Someone will listen to me because, oh, she's been through this too, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So if she can do it, I can do it.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
how it works.
That's how it works.
We
Yeah.
inspire each other.
Yeah. So what's your next step? Are you going to write another book, do you think? Do you think you might go into trashy novels?
I don't know. I don't have another one of these in me for sure.
No, for sure.
Maybe a
right.
different kind of book. But for now, what I
Obviously,
want
you
to
found
do,
out you're a great writer, right?
I'm hearing that it's, yeah, I feel good about it. I feel really good about the book.
That should give
I'm
you
not gonna read
confidence
it.
to. That should give you confidence to.
Absolutely. It's changed my life. It's changed my life.
Yeah.
I feel really good about this book.
Well, you know what? There could be another the rest of your life. You've got more life to live.
Yes. And
So-
I don't know what's next for me is to try and get the message of this book out there. And
Yeah.
to, like, if anyone hears me today and they have, like, let's say an eating disorder place,
Yeah.
and they want someone to speak, I would love to come in and speak and share.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
don't know where it's going to take me. I'm just going to trust the process, speak, and keep getting the message out of hope somehow.
Yeah.
Like, this is kind of like a door to help me outside of, my 12-step rooms, which I've been trying
Right.
to carry the message for
A
11
long
plus
time.
years. Yeah.
Right.
Just to other people as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. So,
yeah. To help the community.
yeah. So you've lived a lot of different places.
Yes.
What's your favorite place? Here?
I love Miami.
Yeah.
I love New York because I love theater. I love Broadway shows.
Oh, yeah. And you thought you were going to be a star.
Well,
and look at you are.
now I am, right.
But not
exactly.
in the same way you envisioned.
I didn't think I would be. Yeah, I thought I would be a star on Broadway, dancing and singing, and I did. That dream
Was that
did
your
come true.
Was that your
did come
background?
true. No, but
Okay.
growing up, I loved it.
Okay.
And I
So-
actually got to live out that dream because I took a dance class, and I write about this in the book. I took a dance class, and my friend who's the instructor, he was a musical theater performer. So when I take that class, I am not in a classroom. I'm on a stage. I'm
is that
living
right?
out my dreams. And I actually dedicated the book to him.
Oh,
Because,
that's so cool.
yes. But so what was the question?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Oh, we were talking about your Broadway.
Yeah,
and,
Broadway.
and how you wanted to be a star.
So
That
now
was your
here I
dream.
am in front of a camera, and
Yeah.
this is not what I expected at all. I could start dancing and singing, and that would be more of what I had expected of thinking as I was growing up what I was going to do. But
So were you a triple threat? You could dance, you could sing, and you could act.
yeah, I suppose I'm very dramatic, very dramatic.
Oh, perfect. We were talking. She also sang in a church choir like I do.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
Now, you might not think I have the best voice. Okay.
Well, I always
But
say
I
I'm
love
the least.
to sing.
Yeah,
But I love to sing, so that's all that matters, right?
There you go.
People take this dance class that I take, and they're like, "I can't dance." I'm like, "Of course you can.
Everybody can dance.
Everybody can dance.
Some can dance better than others.
and as long as you're having fun, that's all that matters."
Exactly.
And people have reached out to me. Surprisingly enough, a lot of people, they're like, "I really want to write a book. I think I have a lot to say." I'm like, "You do. Write it." But I'm
Okay.
not a good writer. I'm like, "Just try it." I always felt that I had it in me. Like it's in my soul to write.
Right.
know?
Yeah. Right.
And so I'm happy that I was able to write this book. But people are reaching out to me. It's really nice. It's really nice.
It's surprising.
suddenly I'm an
It's very,
author.
your humility and your being surprised by this is very, very endearing. So you're not now. You're a star in a different way you envisioned. So how do we get you further along on that path of stardom? You could actually have you had a blog, or have you done anything like that? I think I saw you on another show, didn't I?
I did Ivy's Inspirations. She's wonderful. She's very inspiring. She's on YouTube, and it streams out to other media. And my friend Jackie, who has a great company called Plant Chicks,
Oh, I saw that. What is that?
Plant Chicks.
Yeah.
It's about plant-based lifestyle, and it's a community. And her business partner Marcia, they're wonderful. They're very inspirational. Two gorgeous blondes.
Based lifestyle. Okay, what does that mean?
Plant-based is not necessarily vegan, but it's, I guess, like mostly like like nuts and seeds and
Oh, we talked about
vegetables.
how we all like that stuff.
Yeah, not meat, not chicken, none of that.
Oh.
Not
I
fish.
I could do that, but
not dairy.
I like.
But
oh no!
But you don't
sorry.
have to be
I need
plant-based.
cheese.
You need cheese, but you can. That's the good thing about their program, is that you can really. You don't have to be all or nothing.
Yeah.
If you incorporate more plants and healthy stuff into your diet, it's really about health. It's not about weight.
Right.
It's not about anything. It's about health.
And that's how you came to terms with whatever eating disorder? Was just starting to eat healthy?
I mean, I can't diet. I can't diet. That's not good for me. For me, I need like a healthy eating plan, a way of life. And actually, my friend Jackie was my coach. And she taught me like a healthy way of eating, because it was all about counting calories and recording and this app that app. And then that, to me, in my mind, is more craziness. For me,
it is.
For other people, it might work. But for me, like, eating healthy the way that I was taught.
You have to eat healthy, or you don't have to diet.
3 meals, incorporating protein and fat and starch, eating all healthy foods. For me, that's, it works. Everything, different things work for different people. So yeah, she interviewed me on Facebook Live and Instagram Live, and then Ivy, and that's it. And you. So you're my third.
Yeah, you're my third.
Yeah. So fourth.
Well, first, my third of many, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully to get the message out there, that there's hope, and that, no matter how dark things get in anyone's life, don't give up, because I never in my wildest dreams imagined that people would be coming, friends of mine would be coming and saying, I need you to autograph my book.
Oh,
and
my
that
gosh.
To me is.
That was really special.
Well, it's nice, but I was like, well.
I know. An autograph, really?
My signature? Yeah. But that's, it makes me feel, it's very strange, it's very strange.
Okay, now you're going to give me this book, because I haven't received mine.
Well, yours is autographed. The one I sent you.
Oh, okay. If it ever comes.
Yeah, no, you can have this one too. You can have this one too.
We can use this as a prize for something.
Sure.
Okay.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Well, actually, we have Gringo Bingo coming up.
Okay.
Our next Gringo Bingo, what's it going to be for? Oh, Camp Bonky Creek. Have you ever heard of that?
No. What is that?
It's a camp up in Eustis, Florida, where they take children with different kinds of life-threatening illnesses. And every week during the months that they're doing the camp, they have a different disease. So it could be kids with cancer, another week kids with autism, another week kids with some other, debilitating or whatever disease. And so the kids are brought together with like diseases. So they realize they're not alone in fighting whatever it is they're fighting.
Yeah. I love that.
So it's really cool. So the General Federation of Women's Clubs, that's they call it the President's Project. So we do a monthly, this is a Coral Gables Women's Club. We're doing a monthly Gringo Bingo that we do it with Clutch Burger. If you've ever had a chance to go into Coral Gables, you have to eat at Clutch Burger on Giralda. And the guy is hilarious, Stephen Bradley. And he MCs, and we have a DJ that comes and donates his services. So it's like a party.
And real bingo? You play bingo?
And we play real bingo.
Oh, I love bingo.
Oh, you do? Well, you have to come.
Of
First
course.
Tuesday of every month.
Okay.
I'll send you the stuff.
Yes, please.
So the next one. So every month we share the proceeds with a different charity, and because it's a President's Project, we decided we'd do Camp Boggy Creek for this one. And last week, last month, we did something for the Ukrainian musicians.
Wow.
Because the Frost Chopin Festival is like going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I think the last day is this coming Sunday. But they're collecting, the concerts are free, but they're collecting money at the concerts for this a relief fund for Ukrainian musicians. So, so many people are collecting for Ukraine right now, too. You know, it's
Good.
just everybody, I know.
It's
So,
good because, at the beginning, everybody was talking about it, and then suddenly nobody's talking about it. But, people that are there are living it. It's their reality, and
There,
it's our reality. It's the
yeah,
world.
there
It's
is a women's club there that the General Federation of Women's Club is working, and I think they're collecting money for UNICEF
mhm.
and having it directed that way. And the Rotary Club, there are Rotary clubs in Ukraine right now, and we're in direct contact. I'm a Rotarian too. We're in direct contact with the Rotary clubs, and we're sending tens of thousands out of South Florida alone to help them. So there's a lot going on that people don't know about, and it doesn't get written about because there's so many other things to write about. But yeah, it's pretty amazing how generous this community is.
Very, and even for Neil's event for the
Oh no,
Phoenix Lights,
exactly
they're doing raising money for
the project.
Yes,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
the people that are, because all the rescue workers, they suffer trauma, and
I
people
know.
don't recognize that.
Well, never mind. There's health issues associated with doing that work.
Yes.
I mean, look what happened with 9/11.
9/11.
You know, so they've been traumatized, and then of course people that have narrowly escaped, or live next to everybody in that whole community pretty much is traumatized. But
Yeah.
Neil liked to say, yeah, everybody after natural disasters, everybody thinks, oh, it's they're taken care of. We've sent in, the Red Cross, we've sent in everybody, and then what happens after hurricanes, after tornadoes that wipe out entire half of the city or something. But he said, I don't know if you saw my show, but he says like 20 years from now I can
Yes.
see that we would be at Uvalde helping those people after that tragedy. And mental health concerns are so important. So I love that he's got that wonderful vision, and I hope he can continue to raise money and sustain the effort.
Yes,
So
it's amazing. I since I wrote this book, I've come in contact with so many wonderful organizations. There's this project called the Miami Mind, and that's also for mental health issues. And they did this beautiful, beautiful event, and I was so happy to be a part of it. And they've partnered with this other organization with for awareness for children, like teens. Like the number one cause of death for teens is suicide.
no.
Yes.
Well,
You
when you
know?
think about it,
And,
yeah.
people like with mental health issues, it's kind of like a disease that tells you don't have a disease. Well, I should be okay. I should be outside. I should go for a walk, but you really can't. But so what's wrong with me? What's wrong with you is that you really do have depression, or you really,
Yeah.
or I shouldn't be shopping and spending all this money. Well, some people can stop, but other people, if you really are bipolar, sometimes you really can't,
Yeah.
and sometimes you think you're alone, you think you're the only one going through these issues, but
Yeah.
when you go to these events, you realize like that you're not the only one. And that's the most important thing, like with this children's organization with the bingo,
So,
for them to know that they're not alone. And that's
Yeah.
what I wanted in the book, for people to know that they're not alone. Oh, I'm not the only one that ate out of a garbage pail, because I didn't have enough food in the house. Like that sounds pretty crazy, right? But
Yeah.
like to speak with honest truth, someone will be like, I did that, like
wow. Yeah.
only when we're real and honest can people relate, and
Yeah.
can we help people like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm not so alone. Like the worst thing that you think that you did, I guarantee someone else has done the same or maybe worse,
Right.
It's not that big of a deal. Like, okay, I ate out of a garbage. Okay, I did it. I'm not doing it today, but if you're eating out of a garbage, you don't
You're
have
pretty
to
desperate.
continue. It's desperate.
Yeah.
It's desperate, and it's
Yeah.
demoralizing, and you feel like,
Dehumanizing. Yeah.
yeah,
Really.
pitiful and incomprehensible demoralization.
Yeah.
That's where
Yeah.
addiction takes you to
Yeah.
those depths. and I've lived it, and I'm not ashamed of it.
But
And
look at how not only did you overcome it, now you're kind of a poster child for recovery and for helping other people. And I applaud you for that. That's just
Thank you.
wonderful.
Thank you. That's what we
Okay.
do.
We got a late start, so we're going to close a little early if
Okay.
you don't
It
mind.
went so fast. It went so fast.
I know. So, Julian, um, I don't know how much time we have left, but okay. Oh, we're pretty much on schedule.
Okay.
I'm surprised. Yeah.
It's been so nice talking to you.
Oh, same here. I'm delighted. I'm so happy that you called me, and I'll put you on my friends list.
Thank you. And I can't wait to come to bingo. And
Okay,
support that event.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna love it. Yeah, and then you'll meet all the women, bunch of the people from the Coral Gables Women's Club,
Wonderful.
and that's something they might want to have you as a speaker sometime to talk about different things.
I would love
We've
to.
actually done, actually with Aurelie. Aurelie was able to set up like a mini fundraiser with a book signing, and but you need to talk to her about that. That's
Okay.
something she might be able to help you with in the future. But thank you so much for coming. It was
Thank
such a
you for
delight.
having me.
Oh,
Yes,
my
I'm so
pleasure.
glad we met, because that's what it's all about. People connecting with people and helping people. And it's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. And shout out to Neil Handler
Thank you, Neil.
and the Phoenix Life Project and the gala
Yes,
that's
and
being held at
Jonah.
the St. Regis, and
Yes.
Jonah, whom we haven't met yet, but we hope to.
Yes.
And again, South Florida PBS, thank you so much for sponsoring the show.
Thank you.
And go to allhealthtv.com. Lots of interesting shows and resources there. You can do telemedicine, a bunch of different things. So if you ever get a chance, check out allhealthtv.com.
Absolutely.
And then next week, I'll have Genesia Squee as my guest. I look forward to seeing her and learning about what they're doing this summer in the way of programming. So until next week, have a good one, stay safe, and be happy.